All right. Not even sprigged yet. Picked up a old Polaris SLX. Yeah. SLX 12 hundo. So couldn't pass it up. It was a screaming deal. Trim works, starts and runs. The only thing is the old MFD isn't displaying anything. People say they're either ruined or there's a fuse popped. So we're gonna check that out. It's damaged, but I was hoping to at least see a little bit and see some hours because she's a clean unit. Now she's dirty, but clean for the age. Got the old 12 hundo. All it needs is a bath. Like, she's gonna clean up super good. Just hope the water don't leak. Oh look, I got a battery in there already. Heck yeah. Guy tells me he only had it for like 4 months. Didn't know what was wrong with it. He maybe heard some rattling, needed a last minute Christmas present. So basically walked out of there for the value of the trailer. And I even passed compression test. So I started the other day because I didn't even think I needed to make a video about it because it literally starts and runs and everything. Literally, you just drop a battery and it go. Well, she's spraying out of this area right here in between both carbs. So it's probably a fuel hose, but you know, she's crammed in there so I can't get to it. But I mean, fuel pump, like straight off the fuel pump spraying fuel. So it's got a bad fuel leak. If that's the only thing wrong with it, she's good. Check this pump out. Big old pump. Everything looks, you know, pretty good. The bottom isn't all beat up. So I'm excited. We're gonna get the cover pulled, the carbs pulled, and we'll see what's up. Well, I mean, you know what would cause a fuel leak? Damn fitting don't have a fuel line on it. So we got fuel feed. It Y's in, goes in here. Where's that hose? What's going on here? There's a hose there. There's a hose here. I gotta look at a fuel line diagram because we got the same spigot here going out to this one, then going out to this one, but nothing here. I'm confused. Let me get a light in here and see if there's a hose down here or something. I don't know where another hose is. They left it off this whole time? Alright, figured the riddle out. And whoever's watching this video will appreciate the cobbled mess that this is. Alright, so we got our rack of carbs. This was hooked up to a fuel feed line, which is correct. This was hooked up to the return line, which is not correct. It's a pulse. And this barb was hooked up to the correct one, which is a pulse line. these skis, unlike Yamaha's, only have 2 pulse lines. One coming out right here where I'm pointing my flashlight. And I found this little guy hanging out under the engine. It's hooked up. They just plugged it off. I don't know. They were like, I don't know what happened. So that, with the bolt in it, is supposed to go here. One of the feeds, and then the return. So when I started it and saw fuel spraying out, it was the return. That's why it still at least ran halfway decent. All right. Now I have to figure out which one is a feed and which one is a return. Where are these guys coming from? Because I have not worked on a Polaris yet. All right. Water separators there. This would be the on. Okay. Tighten that back down. Those were loose, by the way. So they were definitely having some kind of freaked out issue. All right, I'm gonna try to get that all hooked back in, and we'll see where she goes. Christmas special, dude. $500 for a 1200. Can't beat it. It's got really rich fuel in it. But we're gonna run it. Let's see how quick she is. Thanks for watching. Next day, back in here again. Ran her on the hose for a minute after I showed that, and I noticed a little gargle, a little cough that it had. Pulled the spark plugs out. Both back spark plugs on the middle and the rear spark plug were perfect. The front one was wet, and then I felt the cylinder and it was cold. Come to find out, either a bad coil pack or whatever, but from what I seen online, there was 3 separate coils. We're gonna find out. But I just went and picked up an X45. Has the same motor, so we'll open this one up. See, we'll cut the wires back first, make sure that the coil is bad, and then once we figure it out, we'll pull the e-box apart and see where it goes from there. All right, so this is the problem child. I have the boot that I took off yesterday. Let me open that up. Well, you're already, oh, look at there. You're already standing in the mud, buddy. Careful, that's sharp and pointy.
Why always got this kind of PJ?
Hey, where'd my thing go?
Huh?
Where'd my little thing? Oh, there it is.
I thought I can. No, I thought I can it.
Uh-oh.
I'll put these on. I'll put
Pull them
these.
off.
Okay. What's the other one for that one?
I took it off. It's
Wow.
broken. It's broken.
Why is it broken?
I don't know. That's why it's in my shop. We're gonna fix it. We're going to fix it. Alright, so I cut the spark plug boot back like you seen. I mean, took the boot off, cut the wire back like you seen. Didn't have spark. Took the box apart, checked the other ski, came back because I was ready to check the stator, which is a whole shit show. I was probably just gonna end up pulling the motor and, you know, going over everything if it was gonna make me pull the motor. I go to test the voltmeter and it's got spark. I mean, it's got power going to it. Spark. Spark. Let's try her on 3, baby. We coming on 3. Okay. Shoot. That front plug's warm. Middle plug's warm. Back plug hot, boy. All right, let's go hook it up to the hose. She seems like she's a little high on the idle. Where's the adjustment? Let me find it. Kick her down a little bit. We'll be good to go. Can't make this shit up. What the hell is that? Anybody know what that is? All right, got it out here the next day. It started doing that low rev limiter bog is what it was acting like. It already had a spark issue before, so that's why I'm thinking it's more of a rev limiter than a fuel starvation. Plus the plugs look good, but I'm gonna run it and see if the plugs are nasty after this, just to check. But we'll start it up, and if it runs good right now, it's definitely a sensor issue. And then I heard on the Polaris group, which thanks guys for that, they say to disconnect one of the sensor wire, I mean the wire going to the CDI, the gray wire, and that should clear out if it's a sensor. The issue is the screen don't work, so I can't see what it's saying. All right, we're gonna try that. We're gonna warm it up and see what goes from there. Guess I should turn the water on. Forgot. pull the carbs to try that out, meant to get it to idle lower. But it's not doing that low rev limiter. All right, well, maybe it just needed a day to think about it since it's been a really long time since it ran last. And I got the carbs right. She runs good other than the high idle. So I'm gonna pull the intake off, well, the breather, flame arrestor, whatever you wanna call it, off, and try to see if I can get that idle down just a little bit. I think I'm gonna take it to work with me tomorrow. We're gonna go rip it, see how it does. It might end badly, and it might have that rev limiter thing again, but I don't want to open the e-box and try to fix something that isn't doing that now. It's not doing it at all today. I don't know if it like freaked out because it hasn't been used. I don't know. So we'll see. I ran it for twice as long as I did yesterday, and it didn't do it. So we'll pull it in real quick, and we're going to check out if we can get those the idle down a little bit. All right, so I'm just going ahead and pulling them all the way back off. I didn't even realize that these skis have little accelerator pumps. This one and this one are squirting great. This one is not. It must be clogged in the little spigot, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off. What I've learned about these, just go ahead and do it right the first time before you're out in the summer and you're mad at the damn thing. So everything else is functioning right, but you see that crack in there? She's idled up too high. And look at that broken stud. I mean, look at the broken idle screw. So I have another rack of key-ins. So I just need to get that out and put another bolt in it and it'll be good to go. All right, got the carbs pulled. There's the stud in question. Broke off on the top. This is the bottom side. This is what keeps the butterfly open. I got this little handheld torch. Nifty little tool. Got me some good old vice grips. We're gonna heat her up and see if we can work it back and forth, get it out of there. Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. That son of a bitch was plastic only on the tip. Focus. Only on the tip. But it's metal in the spot we really need it. Oh, so now I can't grab it. Let's see what I can do. Totally lied. It was fully plastic. It was just not melting inside of it. Had to get really hot. Flaked it out with this pick tool. Chunks of it. If you don't have one of these little guys, a little mini torch, highly recommend it. A blazer. I mean, it's a cool little unit. You can pinpoint exactly where you want to heat without messing up like the bushings or anything. All right, so now let's find something that I could stick in there bolt wise. All right, some Kawasaki Ultra or Kawasaki something. One of them 10mm head bolts fit perfect in there. It's just touching. Now I can get my idle right. If I need to, I can put a little nut on there to lock it or just put some Loctite on it. It already has some Loctite that the factory put on there. We'll see how she goes. It's better than it just being snapped off. Now I'm gonna pull this little guy off and see if she's clogged up real quick. All right, I got the little sprayer hooked back up. All I did was took this little 8mm, unhooked these, spun it around. I spun it around where I could see the little hole because it pees on the other side. Gives it a little shot of juice. So I spun this around and put a piece of wire. I don't know where it's at, but I had a little tiny piece of wire and I stuck it in there and then shot some brake cleaner from both sides while holding one side and made it pressure and then poosh, and it started coming out. We'll test that once it's back on and running. Got the surfaces cleaned on the engine. I'm about to slap it back on. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I leaned it out a little bit on the bottom end, and you could definitely tell, boy. I'm gonna check the plugs tomorrow when I go run it, but she's coming to town with me tomorrow. Don't be pulling none of that. Don't be pulling none of that crazy ass sensor issue. But boy, she. You heard that. You heard it. You heard it. Oh, look at that. I didn't even see the bubbling right there. That's all right. She feels good. She feels good. So I'm gonna throw this flame arrestor. Jeez, if I forget how to say that again. I'll throw that back on. See you tomorrow. All right, I brought it to work with me, but I couldn't help spraying her down and cleaning her up a little bit. So we'll clean her up, then we'll go ride. All right, after work, got her cleaned up. Got her sitting there running. Cleaned up pretty good in there. Oh yeah, baby. That trash on just flooded. Crazy what a little work will do. Trash. Snappy. mind that. That's $400 to replace that. That's about the only thing that don't work. The trim works. I don't know if the bilge works, but who needs that? All right, that concludes this video, start to finish. What do you know? One of my videos actually has a running ski at the end. Look at that. Got the sun setting. Got the old clean Polaris. She's pretty clean. I got little amount of money in it. Not even in the thousands. And came with the trailer. So, fuel leak, running on one cylinder. No, one cylinder dead, running on 2 cylinders. And the idle screw stud being broke off. All it took was removing the carbs twice. And under $1,000, and she rolls. Like, impressive. It felt like I was on an Ultra 150. I don't know how many people have been on Ultra 150s, but it's pretty similar. I mean, it may not be exactly the same speed, but it's very close, if not the same. I don't know how. It's a 135 and Ultra is a 150, but it felt good enough. I don't have to pay Ultra money for it, I can tell you that. And the hull handle's the same. Look at all the crap going by out there. Can you zoom in on that? No, I can't. All right, well, thanks for watching. To start to finish of the Christmas special. And we got her done right after New Year's. So now I already, which is unlike me, I already have a ski that runs and drives. Didn't give me one fit, didn't stall, didn't sputter, didn't cut out before summer. So she's gonna go in the shop and wait for warmer weather. Subscribe for some more, because we got a ton more coming.